Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. This content contains disturbing material and references courtroom testimony that has not been widely aired. What you're about to hear is the reported federal courtroom testimony from the trial of Sean Diddy Combs. And at the center of it all was a name no one expected: Jim Carrey. The courtroom wasn't prepared. His name wasn't on the list. Reporters didn't have him flagged. But when the doors opened and Jim Carrey walked in, it was like a spell was cast. The man known for rubber-faced comedy and surrealist humor entered without a smile. He wasn't joking. He was walking like someone dragging years of silence behind him, a man with something to release. The courtroom stilled. Even the judge looked up, and in his arms was a manila folder. Carrey clutched it like it held pieces of him he couldn't carry anymore. As he passed Diddy's table, Diddy turned and stared. There was confusion at first. Then something shifted. Recognition? Regret? Carrey didn't flinch. He reached the stand, removed his sunglasses, and simply said, "I'm here to release what I've never said out loud." And from there, everything spiraled. He spoke slowly, deliberately. His voice cracked more than once. He admitted things that no one wanted to hear, let alone believe. He talked about rituals, about decisions made not out of desire, but desperation. Carrey said his success wasn't just about talent, it was about compliance, about doing what was necessary in an industry that rewards silence and punishes resistance. And he named names, starting with Diddy. Carrey took the courtroom back to the late 1980s and early 90s. Broke, hungry, grinding through LA comedy clubs. He was chasing auditions, gigs, anything to get noticed. And then, through vague intermediaries, the invitations started. Private parties, supposed networking opportunities. But they weren't about social climbing. They were about power, initiation, submission. Carrey said the first time he met Diddy, he didn't even know who he was. Diddy was still new in the music scene, but everyone whispered that he had real pull, that he had keys not just in hip-hop, but in Hollywood. Then came the real price. Carrey said he was told, bluntly, that if he wanted to move forward, if he wanted to be seen for bigger roles, he needed to go through Diddy. One night, he said, he received a call from a manager tied to a major studio. He was told there was a big project coming up. He was funny, sure, but not quite there, unless, of course, he made the right connection. That connection led him to a suite, a luxury one. Diddy was there. The room was dimly lit, candles, a bathtub already filled. Carrey said he was told this was a cleansing ritual, that if he wanted to be taken seriously, he had to be willing to leave his old self behind. Carrey paused. He gripped the stand, then said the words that silenced the entire room. "I bathed with Sean Combs to get a role." The gallery gasped. Even the stenographer flinched. He said it wasn't a threat, not verbal, not overt, but the pressure was clear. It was do this or be forgotten. He got in the bath. With Diddy, he was told to wash his back, and he did, because everyone around him, from casting agents to assistants, just stood there, watching, not shocked, not laughing, just waiting, as if this was normal, as if this was the unspoken rule. Carrey said he was handed a robe after, led to another room. On the table was a script for The Cable Guy, a bottle of champagne, and a note. "Welcome to the next level." That movie launched him. It made him a household name. But he said it broke something inside him, because now he knew the truth. He hadn't made it because he was good. He made it because he played along. He described the parties next, not just one, many. Always in remote estates, always with NDAs. Phones collected at the door, rooms hidden behind curtains, men and women led into back rooms, some terrified, some altered, others trying to pretend they were fine. Carrey said he saw a woman stumble out of a room crying. No one helped, no one asked. It was all ignored. At one party, he saw a well-known comedian unconscious on a couch, surrounded by men laughing, taking pictures. It wasn't funny, it was sick. Diddy floated between rooms, watching, checking, making sure the right people were doing the wrong things. Carrey said it wasn't about sex. It was about control, about power. These weren't parties. They were ceremonies. And the cost of admission was always your silence. He told the jury that Diddy didn't just attend these events. He orchestrated them, curated the guest list, positioned the players, whispered who could be trusted, who could be used. Carrey said Diddy knew exactly what he was doing, and he had help. Agents, directors, executives, people who showed up again and again. The same faces at every party, the same back rooms, the same rules. And Carrey said he watched as young actors, hungry artists were pulled into it right before their break. That's when they struck, when ambition outweighed caution. He described bringing another actor to one of the parties. A face everyone knows. That actor left halfway through. Years later, he thanked Carrey for not stopping him from walking out. Told him, "I was about to lose my soul." Carrey testified that these weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a pattern, a system. Diddy, at the top, watching, manipulating, testing, choosing who advanced and who vanished. He said the worst part was the silence, the way everyone looked the other way. He tried to talk about it, therapists, friends, agents. Most told him to move on, to be grateful. Some said it was dangerous to dig that stuff up. Others said, that's just how it is. Then the dreams started. Nightmares, flashbacks, the bath, the parties, the masks. He said he began to think he was losing his mind. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe he wanted it. But then other stories surfaced. Other survivors, Cassie, Monique, Lil Rod. And he realized it wasn't just him. They weren't all lying. They weren't all broken. He came forward because he was done hiding, because the silence was killing him, because he wanted someone to know the truth. He didn't want revenge. He wanted release. He talked about losing himself, said that even at the height of his fame, he was miserable, laughing on screen, dying inside. Red carpets meant nothing. Awards meant nothing. He described going home and staring at the wall for hours, not because he was tired, but because he was empty. He remembered a moment in 2007 after filming the number 23. He thought he was done, not with acting, with living. He looked at a picture from one of Diddy's parties. He was in the background, eyes glazed, body slouched, next to a man he didn't recognize. He didn't remember being there, didn't remember the night. That's when he realized he wasn't living. He was surviving. He said he didn't want Diddy in prison for what he did to him. He wanted justice for what Diddy had done to everyone, for the system he helped create, for the careers he built on manipulation. Carrey talked about a list, not written down, but known. The same names, the same faces, the ones who showed up, the ones who looked the other way, the ones who protected the machine because the machine made them rich. He said Diddy wasn't on the list. Diddy made the list. He decided who was safe, who was worthy, who was compromised. He ended his testimony with something simple but chilling. They took my laughter. They took my light. And the man who lit the match is sitting right there. The courtroom didn't move. No one had questions. There were no objections, no interruptions. Jim Carrey walked out the same way he walked in. Silent, serious, changed.